Imagine a time when Europe, stirred by religious fervour, embarked on a series of expeditions to the east. These journeys were not just military campaigns, but also spiritual quests, driven by a deep sense of religious duty and adventure. These were the Crusades, a period of nearly 2 centuries marked by epic struggles, religious zeal, and profound cultural exchange. Knights, nobles, and commoners alike took up the cross, leaving their homes to fight in distant lands. The Crusades, spanning roughly from the late 11th to the late 13th centuries, were a series of religious wars sanctioned by the Latin Church in the medieval period. They were a defining moment in the history of both Europe and the Middle East. The History Odyssey tells the story of this fascinating and turbulent era, exploring the motivations, battles, and legacies of the Crusades. The Crusades were a complex phenomenon driven by a multitude of factors, both spiritual and secular. Political ambitions, economic interests, and personal glory also played significant roles. At their heart lay the desire to wrest control of the Holy Land, particularly Jerusalem, from Muslim rule. This sacred city was a focal point for both Christians and Muslims. The Crusades were a clash of civilizations, of East and West, of Christianity and Islam. They left an indelible mark on the history and relations between these cultures. The reasons behind the Crusades were multifaceted, a tapestry woven from religious fervour, political ambition, and economic motives. The complex interplay of these factors created a perfect storm that led to the launch of the Crusades. In 1095, Byzantine Emperor Alexios I Komnenos, facing the advance of the Seljuk Turks, appealed to Pope Urban II for military aid. The Byzantine Empire was under significant threat, and Alexios saw the Western Knights as a potential solution to his problems. Urban, seeing an opportunity to unite Christendom and expand its influence, delivered his famous speech at the Council of Clermont, urging Christians to liberate Jerusalem from Muslim control. This call to arms was not just about religion, it was also about power and unity. Urban's call resonated deeply with a populace already imbued with religious zeal. The idea of fighting for their faith and reclaiming the Holy Land struck a chord with many. For many, the journey to the Holy Land was a pilgrimage, a chance to atone for their sins and secure their place in heaven. This spiritual journey was seen as a way to earn divine favour and eternal salvation. The promise of land and riches in the East also proved a powerful lure for knights and nobles. The potential for wealth and new territories was an enticing prospect for those seeking fortune and adventure. The Crusades were a stage upon which numerous figures, both Christian and Muslim, left their mark on history. Pope Urban II, the initiator of the First Crusade, ignited the flames of holy war with his impassioned plea. Richard I of England, known as Richard the Lionheart, became an icon of chivalry and military prowess during the Third Crusade. On the Muslim side, Saladin, the Ayyubid Sultan, emerged as a formidable adversary. Known for his military genius and chivalry, Saladin recaptured Jerusalem in 1187, prompting the Third Crusade. Section 4. Clashes of Faith and Steel, Major Battles of the Crusades. The Crusades were punctuated by numerous battles and sieges, each a testament to the brutality and religious fervour of the age. The Siege of Jerusalem in 1099, culminating in the city's capture by the Crusaders, stands as a pivotal moment in the First Crusade, marked by both triumph and brutality. The Battle of Hattin in 1187, where Saladin's forces decisively defeated the Crusader army, shifted the balance of power in the region. The Crusades were not just a series of military campaigns, they were also a time of cultural exchange and interaction between East and West. Section 5. The Legacy of the Cross and Crescent, Impact and End of the Crusades. The Crusades were a series of religious wars initiated, supported and sometimes directed by the Latin Church in the medieval period. The Crusades ultimately failed to achieve their primary objective of maintaining lasting Christian control over the Holy Land. Despite their initial successes, the Crusader states were unable to sustain their hold. By the late 13th century, the Crusader states had crumbled, and the era of the Crusades drew to a close. The fall of Acre in 1291 marked the end of the Crusader presence in the Holy Land. The Crusades left an indelible mark on history, shaping the political, religious and cultural landscapes of Europe and the Middle East. They influenced the course of history in profound ways. They led to increased trade between East and West, opening up new avenues for commerce and cultural exchange. The rise of powerful Italian city-states such as Venice and Genoa, which became major centers of trade and finance, and the diffusion of knowledge and ideas. Scholars and scientists from different cultures exchanged information, leading to advancements in various fields. However, they also sowed the seeds of religious intolerance and animosity between Christians and Muslims, creating a legacy of conflict and mistrust. A legacy that continues to resonate to this day. The echoes of the Crusades can still be felt in modern interfaith relations and historical remembrance.